good afternoon folks, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot's back with you again. We're back in Europe. In fact, we're in the Mediterranean, the southern Mediterranean. We're in Corsica, the island of Corsica, and this is Calvi St. Catherine Airport on the island of Corsica on the northwest coast. Lima Foxtrot Kilo Charlie is the ICAO code. This is a payware scenery by FSX3D. Now that's a developer, not to be confused with the simulator FSX or the simulator P3D. FSX3D is one of two developers who've done this airport. I'm reviewing this one because having looked at, I think this one, certainly in my opinion, looks to be the better of the two. But I'll leave that for you to decide. You're looking at version 1.5 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. The download is 648 meg, installs at 819 meg, so it's under a gig, which is a good thing. The size is not too bad at all. It's available currently from Simmarket, and here's the price. It's €16 or $17.73 US or £13.63 UK. US and UK prices are estimates taken from that euro price, and they include tax or VAT, which of course can vary depending on your purchase. Those of you who've looked at this on Simmarket will realise that currently it's on offer. You can get it at Simmarket currently for €10.08 until the end of August this year for 2024. It's just over €10. Again, that includes tax. When that disappears after August and September onwards, when it reverts to the original price of €16, if you were a previous customer who bought this product for Flight Sim 2004 or Prepare 3D, you can also get a discount on that price. Now, just looking at the scenery from the high level, the one thing that bothers me, of course, is these vehicles going into the runway. I mean, okay, they seem to be just mucking about on the extended threshold and not on the main runway, but many of you know how I feel about vehicles entering the runway. It really isn't something that should be done. So there you go. It's a really nice looking airport, I have to say. It's in a very nice location, beautifully modelled, sits in the scenery really well, which is not a bonus for me. But let's look at the features you can expect to see on this product. So features, you can have photorealistic ground reworked over the entire area. They've got a custom ground polygon, highly detailed 3D building models with PBR texturing used extensively. All building models as well as vehicles on the screenshots that you would see when you look at this scenery are not objects from the original MSFS library, so I guess that they're custom made. Ground markings are consistent with the latest work carried out at the airport, and that's last year, 2023. Photorealistic ground if you use the Flight Sim 2020 map enhancement and Google server. Not quite entirely sure what that is, but I'll leave that for those of you who know what it's talking about. But from this shot here you can see it molds beautifully with the default scenery, and what you've got is a very, very nice looking airport generally. So those are the features. Let's look at some history. So history, Calvi St. Catherine Airport, Lima Foxtrot Kilo Charlie, is a public use international airport operated by the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Bastia and Haute Corse. The airport is located on the island of Corsica in the central Mediterranean, just 3.7 miles or 6 kilometers southeast of Calvi, a commune of the Haute Corse department in France located on the island. As an international airport, you have border control, customs and police services fully available here. The airport has limited operating hours and therefore is not open at night. As far as I understand it, it's open from dawn or sunrise to sunset. There is no shuttle service to the city, so on-site taxis and car rental companies are available. In 2014, the airport handled over 326,000 passengers. Now, most flights into Calvi are seasonal, with airlines including Air France, Air Corsica, Avanti Air, EasyJet, British Airways, Eurowings and Transavia all operating into and out of the airport. So there you are, folks, a brief potted history. Not much to find out about this airport, although it has been around a while. And you know, the more I look at this, the more I like the way it sits into the location that it's in. The scenery is really wonderful, including the surrounding scenery. It's a lovely bay there yesterday. I landed at this airport yesterday in the Airbus A319, the new FENIX, and probably one of the better landings I had. The big showstopper for me at the moment, looking at this, of course, are the vehicles going up and down the runway, which really is a no-no. They need to be sorted out, really. It could be a real problem. You're trying to land, you've got these things going up and down the runway, especially just before sunset. So that was the history. Let's look at the runway itself here. Okay, so runways. We've lowered the lighting. It's 5 to 8 in the evening local time. It's the 21st of August 2024, so we're in the height of the summer. Calvi St. Catherine Airport operates a single runway, 3618, measuring 7,579 feet or 2,310 meters, and is constructed from concrete. The airport lies at an elevation of 210 feet or 64 meters and sits within the GMT UTC plus 1 hour time zone. Now, just like the UK and most of Europe, Calvi does indeed observe daylight saving time, or DST, and with the UK currently 1 hour ahead of GMT, Calvi is also on DST and is therefore still 1 hour ahead of the UK. So the runways themselves, runway 3618, and this is both ends, feature high intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system, and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So you've got your runway lighting, the high intensity lighting, the PAPIs are there. They're actually missing the runway end identifier lights. There should be 2 white lights flashing either side of the runway here. I mean, okay, you have these green lights going across the back, which could be taken as an identifier lighting, but normally runway end identifier lights are 2 white lights flashing either side of the runway. No approach lighting here, which again is as per the chart, and quite interesting considering this runway actually has an instrument, well, it has a localizer instrument landing option. But there you go, that's what they've done. So we look at this part of the runway first. This is runway 18, and the approach is available here. You have a localizer approach and also an RNP approach with W, X, Y and Z options. Now I used an RNP RNAP approach to get in here the other day, yesterday as it was, and made the landing quite safely. The A319 does take a little while to stop, but I did manage to get off. You just have to remember, if you're going to the end of the runway, you're going to have to use a U-turn because there are just 2 taxiway points that lead into the main stand. So runway 18 then does have a localizer. Bear in mind it's a localizer, it's not an ILS, so you have a center line but not a glide slope, but you also have the RNP option as well. So let's go up to the other end, runway 36. So here we are looking at the other end, runway 36. Now there are no published approaches to this runway. You wouldn't land here, and the reason is, of course, is the terrain behind us. This runway is used for takeoffs only. However, in the scenery you have these lights here denoting the back end of the extended threshold, and you have PAPIs. But like I said, you wouldn't use this runway. I mean, you can use this runway for landing. If I look at the notes from the charts, it says here, takeoffs on runway 36 at night possible with prior approval. So you'd need permission to take off from this airport after dark. Operations are prohibited during low vis or LVP procedures when the visual range is less than 550 meters. And the operations are also prohibited if the runway is wet and the crosswind is 20 knots or more. And all airline operations, aircraft with 10 seats or more, must obtain approval from air traffic control. So you need prior permission to land here, which in most cases is already permitted in terms of the airlines because they operate in here on a seasonal basis. But there are no published approach procedures for runway 36, so this is a takeoff runway only. If I swing the camera round, that's why you're not going to take off here. Okay, you could conceivably climb above those mountains, but as you can see there's rising terrain. So takeoffs only on runway 36. and landings only on runway 18. Typically you've come in on this runway. So yeah, it's fine. As you can see, everything looks okay. This runway is fully usable. It's nice to have the PAPIs and identifying ends at both ends, but I challenge anybody in an airline really to make a landing this way. So as I said, no published approach procedures for 36, landings on runway 18 only, and takeoffs on 36, mainly to avoid the mountainous terrain behind us. So that was it for runways. Now there are no jetways at this airport, so let's get down properly to the airport itself and have a look and see what we can see here. Okay, welcome back. It's just after midday and we'll start with a tour heading north to south. Sorry, south to north even. Runway 36 threshold, extended threshold to the right there, and we extend to the north going towards the bay, and we'll cross over airside. So it's a real pity to see so many vehicles so often going into the runway there. Probably more so than I've seen for a while. It's a real pity, because it shouldn't be the case. However, looking at the scenery itself, I mean, it's nicely done. Look at the old hangars there to the left. And here we're coming off onto the, this is the apron that's under construction. And so there, where these vehicles are coming in, that's the main entry or exit point you would use to get into the stand once you've landed. So if you pass that point, you need to backtrack. So here's my FENIX Airbus A320 parked on stand 4. And as you can see, it's nice. It's very nice. The terminal building there to the left is weathered. Plenty of clutter. The ground here, especially the fauna, looks really nice. There's the control tower building to the left and the fire station below us. Here you've got additional parking, and there you can, to the right, you can see the entry point. And there below you can see the typical fence line, which strangely enough doesn't extend to here. It should go all the way down. You see, they've ended it there. So it really should go all the way down the airport, because this is airside. However, the fence is correct. This is exactly as it should be under ICAO regulations. You have a wire fence 2.9 meters high with a crank neck facing outward and razor wire on the top, and you're supposed to have a clear way either side of the fence. This facing outward basically is an attempt, it basically prevents people from putting ladders on top of the fence line to get into airside. It's the minimum requirement under ICAO European regulations, but unfortunately it doesn't go on. It should extend all the way down here to basically seal off the airside airfield from the landside road. However, let's get back to the tour. It's still nicely modelled. To be honest, I like it. Love the way it's done. And there to the right you can see the concrete of the runway there. It's clearly distinguishable from asphalt. But you've got little buildings and little fields and things going on here that you know, just give this place some character. Here we've got traffic going down the landside road. Such a pity they didn't go the whole way with the fence. And okay, it might sound like a minor thing, but it's, you know, that's what you have at an airport. Okay, photoreal trucks on the road there. But it's alright, this isn't too bad at all. And if you look over in the far distance, you've got all this to explore as well. So as we cross over the runway to the northeast, here you've got part of the town and other buildings and bits and pieces going on locally as well, which might be worth exploring in a light aircraft or a helicopter. Again, a very nice location. That's the pity about the photoreal cars, but yeah, you know, it's okay. So I have a little tour landside. There you can see a bit more of the fence line, which does surround the main body of the airport. We've got various buildings here. And the cars, for the most part, are nicely parked. Some of them are a bit out of slots. But it looks quite nice. I kind of like the way the scenery sits in the current location. It looks quite good in terms of an ambient atmosphere. Maybe I should get the other scenery and have a look at it. But yeah, it's nice. You see, it's just a pity that the fence line stops. In fact, it goes on a bit there, and there to the right it stops, and it continues, and then it stops again. See, all this area here should be fenced off. Okay, let's take have a few shots and have a close look at the ramp here where you're going to park up. This is what you pilots are interested in. My Airbus there's parked on stand 4. And you can see the terminal building looks nicely done, nicely weathered. I don't think there's anything inside. Well, as you can see, the building itself is quite nicely weathered. You've got doors there that are very sort of low detail parallaxing. A bit more there showing on the upper level. And there you've got what looks like air conditioning equipment on the roof there. And the terminal itself and the bits and pieces all look quite nice. You can see over to landside the rent-a-car options there. And there we are looking at the other end, and to be honest the glass looks a lot better down there. Okay, it's a bit blurry when you get up close. So let's have a look at the tower. Okay, so the tower is structured inside, but it's no development as such. So here you can see the ramp signage is pretty good, including markings for the different aircraft types, which is really helpful. And the ramp signs there set on plinths, which is really good. That's good modelling rather than just stuck in the grass. Can't see any blue airfield edge lights unfortunately, but then this airport's not available really for use during the darkness hours. It's prior permission only. So there's the entrance to the runway with all the appropriate signage. You've got wigwags which unfortunately don't seem to work. It looks as though maybe they're just there for aesthetics, as it were. And there's the sign denoting the Bravo exit, which is the one you want to take you to the stands. And you can also see there the pappies for 3.6 properly mounted on plinths, as indeed they should be. Here you've got white runway lighting. As I said, no blue airfield edge lights because you usually don't operate after dark. So a quick look at some of these other bits and pieces over at this area here. This looks to be under construction, where you've got what looks like another part of the apron being constructed here. And you've got a couple of buildings and an old hangar there. And once again, the mandatory signage there for entering the live runway. This is the 3.6 threshold for takeoffs. So this is a real pity. Lots of vehicles going up and down the runway, which really is a no-no. Anyway, having said that, let's drop the lighting down to dusk, assuming that this is a sunrise to sunset airport. So first of all, just a quick high-level look here to show you the sun is at sunset, it's just about to go down. It's 8:15 in the evening. And here's the airport at dusk. As you can see, we've got some quite nice lighting there. So, okay, if you want to do takeoffs at night with obviously prior permission, it looks as though you do have some lighting here that will help you get around. Runway's nicely lit there, but as I said, no airfield edge lights. You're going to need your full lighting of the aircraft to help you get around here. So runway 18 threshold out here in the distance. Here's you've got additional parking behind the tower, which isn't lit or doesn't seem to be lit from here. So runway 36, extended threshold there below us to the left. A little bit of lighting here and there down here just to give it some atmosphere. So here we are on the stand, close up. As you can see, minimal lighting, but it works. It looks quite pleasant, to be honest. I haven't got any real complaints at all. So a quick view from the flight deck at dusk. This is what you'll see when you park up on stand 4 at this time of the day. Captain side view, and looking out through the first officer's window. And a close-up look at the captain side. You can see there's the parallaxing that they've done on the terminal there really is kind of low. It doesn't really do anything as such, but it's okay. A quick view out of the passenger's window on the port side and on the starboard side for you. And once again, the arrivals building at dusk. Not much to say about it really. And a quick look at this end of the terminal. So a couple of shots of the bits and pieces that are to be found landside. Avis rent-a-car here right down close to the 18 runway 18 threshold. The Ford Motor Service. Parking garage there, I think is what that is. Hertz rent-a-car. For the most part, the cars seem to be in their slots. Europe car. So here we are landside of the main terminal, and this is where we've got a few cars that do seem to have been thrown at the scenery. These are all nicely slotted. You've got open slots here, and these cars are a bit all over the place. It's pretty basic, but in terms of what you need and what you see as a pilot coming into this airport, it's fine. And there's a look landside. I'm showing you the lighting that exists, and it's not bad. It looks quite pleasant. There is a little bit of atmosphere here. There's a lot more that could be done to this scenery to make it much more appealing. Perhaps I probably should get the other one. I think it's VFX Simulations that do the other one. Maybe I should get that and have a look and compare the two. For the moment, this one looks to be the nicest from what I've seen. So, should you wish to do any takeoffs at night with prior permission, let's see what it looks like at night time. Okay, 10 PM local time, and this is sort of generally where the curfew's in force anyway. They don't allow any landings or takeoffs between 10 PM and 7 AM without prior permission. Certainly no landings and no departures unless you've got permission. Lighting's come up a little bit and it looks fine. It's no worse or no better than it was, but at least you can see the area with the bits and pieces around. You've got a couple of Asobo globes to be expected. Once again, there's the flight deck view, slightly skewed towards the first officer's window, and this is what you would see, assuming you were about to get powered up for departure. And that's a close-up look at the ramp. There's me parked with our lights on. And you can see a faint glow in the control tower from the distance, which I think is a good thing, even though they've not really modelled it. And there's the terminal landside giving you a view, which looks fine. It really does look good. So that was night time. Not really much to talk about or to show you there. I mean, it works and it looks quite nice. It looks very pleasant. Let's bring the dawn up, and hopefully I'm facing the right way for you to see the glow And let's see where the dawn comes up. Okay, 7:05 in the morning. So as you can see, the sort of curfew between 10 and 7 a.m. kind of works, certainly in the summer. It's just after 7, which is when you'd be released for doing a takeoff or a landing here. And there's sufficient lighting, and you've got this really nice sort of glow on the buildings. There in the distance is the runway 18 threshold. And towards the southwest there's runway 36 and the extended threshold. And there you've got the sun coming up above the mountains. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful place when you land here or take off at sunrise. Okay, 8 a.m. local time, and time to give you my thoughts and review on this product and just wind up this review. I like it. I do like it. When you look at this view here, I mean, it sits really nicely in the airport. Obviously, let's get this out of the way. The big showstopper for me is these vehicles all lining up to get into the runway. Loads of them. Some of them there turn off just at the threshold. You've got these all vying to get in at the extended threshold. Another one out here entering the runway, and he's going to come all the way down it or down the other end. This is a big no-no, and it needs to be dealt with. That's probably the biggest showstopper of all. That needs to be fixed, and I know that some developers have managed to do it, so maybe this developer needs to learn how to do that too. But the scenery itself is quite pleasant. Nothing to write home about. We're not talking Pyro Dev Company here, but this is a nice little scenery, weathered buildings. You know, it certainly is better than the default and brings the airport to life a bit. It's a nice scenery. Is it worth this normal asking price of €16? Probably not. I would say it's probably worth about 11, given the level of detail and the level of expertise used to create the scenery. It's good, but it's not magnificent. So I would say it's worth about €11. But as I said, at the moment, if you want this product, it's on offer until the end of August 2024. You can get it for just over €10, including tax, from Simmarket at the moment if you really want it. Not sure, you might prefer the other version, which I will probably do a review on the other version if I get enough interest. So if you'd like to see me review the other product, then please let me know in the comments, and we'll work towards doing that. But yeah, it's worth, for me, it's worth about €11, and in its current state, there's a lot that could be done to make this brilliant. Get rid of the vehicles going onto the runway, of course. But I need to add blue airfield edge lights to demarc the airfield better. Some more bits of goings on airside would be great. It'd be nice if they really worked on the parallaxing here. Don't need to develop the terminal, we're not expecting that. But if they put high resolution, decent parallaxing here, the illusion would be much better. Do the same landside, put the cars in the right places, some of them are out of place. Maybe add a few people, and develop the control tower, and you've got an airport that's worth more than €16 because of the level of detail and the amount of work that's gone into it. It's good as it is, but it's not great. But I do like it, and as I said, I flew in here yesterday and actually thoroughly enjoyed the experience. So if you're interested in this, certainly have a look. It's, as I said, just over €10 at the moment. And after the 31st of August it reverts back to €16. But if you had this product for FS 2004 or P3D, if you're a previous customer, you can get a discount on purchasing this. So yeah, it's nice. It's an interesting little place on the island of Corsica, which itself is beautiful. I mean, stunning location. And I can recommend it. But if the authors are watching, there's more that could be done here. And who knows, I hope that maybe they might think about taking that on, depending of course on their level of expertise. We've got developers who do quite a good job, but they're not that expert at the moment. They're still now learning their craft, as it were. And part of my job is not only to review these for you, the paying customer, but also to encourage the developers who spend the time to produce these products and encourage them to do better. So there you go, it's Calvi, St. Catherine Airport on the island of Corsica, Lima Foxtrot Kilo Charlie, payware scenery by the developer known as FSX3D. As I've said, nothing to do with the simulator FSX or the simulator P3D, it's just the name of the developer. This is version 1.5 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. Download is 648 meg and it installs at 819 meg. Currently get it from Simmarket. It's on offer at just over €10, about €10.08 until the end of the month, after which it reverts to its normal price of €16, which equates to $17.73 US, or £13.63 UK. Those prices, US and UK, are estimates taken from the euro price, and they include tax, which of course may vary depending on where you are in the world when you purchase it. So I like it. As I said, I landed here yesterday when I took the FENIX Airbus A319 out for my first flight. To be honest, one of my best landings I made in that aircraft for a long time. So I'm pleased with it. So yeah, I can recommend it. If you are interested in looking at the other version, I think it's VFX Simulations that have done it. Okay, it's actually VREF Simulations. VREF Simulations are the other company that's done this airport for Flight Sim 2020. But if you're interested in me doing a review on that, let me know in the comments and I'll certainly consider doing it. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully quite a short review, not much to tell you or to show you, but enough to make it interesting, I think. When you only got to look at the terrain, it's a beautiful location, just another one of those great locations. The island of Corsica is always good for a stunning scenery. So thank you for joining me. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot. We'll be looking at some other reviews next week, and I hope to try and get at least a world tour video out sometime this week if I can. We're still on that at the moment. We're in Naha in Japan, and our next stop is Tokyo Narita. But somebody's asked me to do a video of landing in Mumbai, so I might try and do that as well. So a bit for me to do in the coming weeks or so. But guys, have a good week. Enjoy the upcoming weekend. Fly safe. And those of you who've got the A319-321 expansion for FENIX, I can recommend that. Brilliant price. Basically £39 UK for both aircraft. And if you haven't yet bought the A320, there's a bundle offer on at the moment at a reduced price, which won't be around for long, but it'll allow you to get all three aircraft because you need the A320 as a base product. But having flown the 3119 yesterday, what a wonderful little plane. It's really surprised me, to tell you the truth. I've been a Boeing man for ages. But FENIX just does the job. They've set the bar and it's great. So I recommend that too. So thanks a lot guys, take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.